Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's Daf Yomi, Yevamos Chavtes. We're holding right at the Mishnah, 6 lines from the top of the Amud. Today we're going to discuss the concept of ma'amar. That's a term used for describing kiddushin done to a Yevama. The conventional method is either Yibum, living with her as married, or Chalitza, removal of that shoe, etc. What if he actually gives her a Kiddushin? Gives her money, or a Shtar, which is typical of the ordinary Kiddushin process given to a regular Isha, a non-Yevama Isha. What if he does it to a Yevama? Does that count? Does it have any effect? Let's see. Says the Mishnah, Shloisha Achan, you have 3 brothers. Shnayim Nesuim Mishtechayis, 2 of which are married to 2 sisters. Ruvain to Rachel, Shimon to Leah. Ve'echad Mufne, you have a 3rd brother, Levi, who's unmarried, or married to a stranger. Not part of this sisterhood situation. Meis Echad Mibalei Achayis. Ruvain, husband of Rachel, passes on. Levi would like to do some Yibum here, which he can at this point because there's only one Yevama awaiting Yibum. There's no competition between herself and sister, who's still married to the other fellow Shimon. So now Levi approaches Rachel, his one Yevama, V'asaba Mufne Mamar, and this Mufne fellow, Levi, instead of Yibum or Chalita, decides on Ma'amar. He gives her some money, he's Mekadesh her, gives her a Shtar Kiddushin. And then Shimon passes away, leaving behind a widow. What does Levi do? If he was already married to Rachel, then Rachel's his wife, and Leah, the newcomer on the scene, the new Yevama, is his wife's sister, an Erva, which doesn't have Yibam. But here, he never took Rachel in completely. He just did Ma'amar. How do we treat Rachel vis-a-vis Levi? We have machlekes between Shammai Omrim. They say Ishte Imay. Mamar accomplishes much. It considers it like it's his wife. So she's his wife. Valazu, and the other woman, Leah, who's now the sister Yevama, Teitze Mishmachos Isha, she leaves the scene. She's disqualified. She's a sister of his wife. According to Shammai, Mamar has a profound effect. We consider it as though she's really married to him, and now Levi is Rachel's husband. In which case, Leah, the new Yevam, is disqualified as per Achayis Isha. Ubeis Hillel Omrim, they disagree. Mamar does something, but it's only midrabbanon, as opposed to Beis Shammai, you seem to hold that it's minatur. Beis Hillel hold, no, it's only midrabbanon. It creates some sort of designation, but it's not to the point that we consider Rachel to have sort of married Levi, in which case, when Leah arrives on the scene, Levi is now faced with 2 Yevamas, which creates a conflict because they're both sisters. Each one is Achayis Ukukasei. He loses on both accounts. He has to give up both opportunities. Moitzis ishte beget. He separates from his wife with a get. This is to address the mamar, which needs a get. Ubechalitza, of course, he has to still do chalitza to his so-called wife Rachel because she's still a Yevama. And likewise, Leah gets chalitza. Zuyish Amr, on this they say, woe from both directions. Woe to him on account of losing his wife Rachel, and he also loses the opportunity to be miyabim Leah Eshes Achiv. We say in this case he loses both women. What are we coming to exclude? As opposed to which other case where we will not apply this concept? He will not lose on both accounts. He will not lose all sides. As opposed to Rabbi Yeshua, the lay of dinner can say we don't follow Rabbi Yeshua. What's the case of Rabbi Yeshua? So you have Reuven and Shimon, of course. Reuven is married to Rachel. Shimon is married to Leah, who is still a Ketana, in which case the Kedusha is only D'Rabbanan. Reuven passes away, leaving Rachel as a Yevama. What does Shimon do? You see, the problem is that Leah, Shimon's wife, who is really Rachel's sister, is not really properly married to Shimon. It's only Kedushim D'Rabbanan. So technically, Rachel really takes priority over Leah. What do we do? Says Rabbi Yeshua, you lose on both accounts. Separate from your wife, who is now the sister of your Yevama, and you can't have Leah either because she's a sister of your Gerusha, we have trouble on all sides. So Rabbi Yehoshua holds he loses both wives. Our Mishnah, which uses the term Zohi, only in this case by us do we lose both, that's coming to rule out from Rabbi Yehoshua. No, we don't follow that shita, we don't lose both over there. Rather, what do we do in that case of the Ketana Ella? Rather, either we follow Rabbi Gamliel's approach, which is wait until the Ketana grows up and then you're properly married to her, in which case she's your wife and the other Yevama is Achos Isha, she's out of the picture. Rabbi Lezer, or like Rabbi Lezer who says we encourage the Ketana to do me and walk away, in which case she's no longer on the scene and you're free to be miyabim Leah, the other Yevama. So our Mishnah follows either Rabbi Gamliel or Rabbi Lezer, but not Rabbi Yehoshua. So this, of course, is following Beis Hillel, who hold that Mamar doesn't create that connection between Yavam and Yevama. You need Chalitza, you need Yibam to accomplish that proper connection. Whereas Beis Shammai disagree. Mamar does do something. Now what does it do? We're going to have three ways to interpret the Mamar procedure according to Beis Shammai. Here it goes. Amar Belazar. You should not even suggest that, according to Beis Shammai, Mamar makes Kinyan Gomer, it's a proper acquisition, and we consider her like his wife. She undergoes a status change, so to speak, from Yevama to wife, in which case, from this point onward, if they want to separate, he does get only without Chalitza. Don't suggest that. That what? That Mamar is koinikin in Gomer di boila fuki, that if he wishes to separate Sagila Begita, a get is sufficient. That's not correct. Of course, she's still a Yevama, and if he wants to separate, he needs get to remove the Mamar effect, and of course he needs to stand with Chalitza as well. She's still a Yevama. Ella, rather, Mamar le Beis Shammai. What does Mamar do according to Beis Shammai? It creates a designation. Ella einoi koine ella litchais b'tzara b'lvad. It doesn't make a proper kinyan. She's not engaged, she's not married to him. Rather, it kicks out the tzara. In our Mishnah we have two sisters. Yevamos, it sort of pushes the tzara out of the way, pushes the other sister out of the way. We call her tzara, but it's just a way of saying the other Yevama, the competing Yevama. Because you have designated Rachel as your future Yevama through the Mamar procedure. So now that you've done that, you've shut the door on all the other potential Yevamas, and your Yevama is okay. She's not considered Achais, a sister of the other Zakukah, the other one bound for Yibam, because the other one is no longer bound for Yibam once you've designated this one. That's all it does. So it sort of has a negative effect on the other one rather than a profound positive effect on this one. I'll prove this point from our Mishnah. Af anana mitanina. We learned likewise in a Mishnah back on the Chavav. A fellow was presented with two Yevamis Achayis, sisters. So Reuven and Shimon pass on, they leave behind Rachel and Leah, two sisters. Levi and Yehuda presented with two Yevamis. Says the Mishnah, what do? Chalitza. Yibum is not an option because each one is Achayis or Kukasa, right? Let's say they both jump into it and they do Yibum. What happens? B'Shamu, I mean, Yikaimu, they could hold on to them. Yikaimu in, they could hold on, but this is not a preferred option. There's no way to arrange Yibum lichatchila. Why not? Let's pull out the Mamar card and arrange Yibum as follows. If you're going to tell me that according to Beis Shammai, Mamar has a profound impact on this relationship, it creates that proper connection, why don't we do as follows? Levi and Yehuda are faced with two Yevami sisters, no problem. Use the Mamar option. Let Levi do Mamar to Rachel and be kind to her. So although he's not allowed to be Miyamar at this point, in her current state she's still a sister of Leah, the other Yevama, but Mamar can be done in any case. There's no Isser, Rashi says, no Isser to do Mamar. It's not like Yibum. So you can outsmart the system. You can do Mamar to Rachel, in which case you're Kaina, she's now yours, in which case the other one is sort of off the table as far as I'm concerned, she's mine. Likewise, Yehuda can do the same. Do Mamar to Leah. Be kind to her. She's his wife. The other one is Achayis Ishtay. and I don't have to reckon with the other one. So there's a right from here that it doesn't work like that. Mamar is not koine kinyan gomer. Says, 1 second. So what does it do? So what does mamar do? Elamai, what's the other option? Doiche dechia gemura. Mamar doesn't make a proper kinyan. It's not as though you acquired this yevama, but at least it kicks the other one out. It designates this one as opposed to the other one. If that's the case, then it can also be used in that Mishnah. It can also be applied as a solution. Levi and Yehuda are faced with Rachel and Leah, 2 sisters. Use the mamar option. Let Levi apply mamar to Rachel, in which case he's shoving Leah away. He's taking her off the map. She's no longer a factor to be reckoned with, in which case Rachel is running uncontested, no competition, no achoy zekuka. Likewise, Yehuda can do the same to Leah. So whichever way you learn mamar, you can still use it. So why can't you? Elamai. So it must be that there's a reason why mamar is not an option. Because you know why? It's not your standard mamar. Elamai is lachol. Maybe you're going to say like this. Mamar dehetera dachi. A mamar done when you can do yibum. You see, the point of mamar is to prepare for yibum. Bring her closer and closer until you get to the yibum. A mamar which is done in a yibum context, in a yibum enabled circumstance, such as an Mishnah over here. Right? The Reuven passed away. Levi did mamar. At that point, she's perfect. She was perfectly suitable for yibum to Levi. So mamar done in a heter situation, that accomplishes. It's understandable because that mamar is designating her from me. She's availing her. It's preparing her for the yibum, for the upcoming yibum. So that accomplishes what it's meant to do. But the isur leidachi, but a mamar done in a isur context, such as in the Mishnah back in the Chavav, you have 2 sisters. You can't be miyavim either one. You can't pull out the mamar card either. That mamar is not going to be an effective mamar. So here as well, meaning even if you'll tell me that typically mamar is going to make a proper kinyan, even if typically mamar is a full acquisition, but you can still draw that line between a proper mamar and a deficient mamar. Mamar dehetero kani, if it's a proper mamar, you can acquire. The yisur loikani, but if it's not a proper mamar, you can't do it. So bottom line is, you haven't proven anything from that Mishnah Naf Chavav. Mamar perhaps is kaina, mamar perhaps is just doicha the tzar, but over there it won't work either way because it's not a proper mamar. Ravashi Masniachi, he had a different. Ravashi had a different version of Rabbi Lazar. The first version was, well, we have a choice whether we understand mamar being a kinyan or mamar just pushing away the other Yevamos. Ravashi had a different version, a different edition. Amar Rabbi Lazar, lo yitema mamar lebeishame dochid chia gemura. See, according to this version, there is no notion that mamar creates a proper kinyan. That's not up for discussion. Mamar is just there to designate this particular Yevama and shove away the other one. But there are 2 ways to understand that as well. So does it completely kick her out to the point that she's already no longer considered a Yevama? She doesn't even need chalitza. She's not a potential candidate for Yevama. Or does it just push her aside to the point that she won't interfere with the first Yevama? She won't be considered a choyse kuka. So is it only relative to the Yevama that with which you did mamar? Let's say you did mamar to Rachel. So Rachel is now the designated Yevama, the Yevama elect, in which case Leah can't interfere. That's one tzad. So the mamar only shoves aside Leah relative to Rachel, with respect to benefiting Rachel. It makes her an uncontested Yevama. Or is it more than that? Does it actually affect Leah and sort of take her off the map? She's no longer Yevama, she no longer needs chalitza. 2 ways to understand. Amar Belazer, don't say that it totally shoves her aside. Which absolves the tzara from chalitza. No, not that far. It doesn't have such a powerful effect. It it pushes her aside to the extent that the other Yevama no longer competes with me, but it still leaves over some zika, she's still somewhat bound to the mitzvah, and chalitza is required. On this, Rabbi Abin said, Af anana mitanina, I can prove this point from the Mishnah. Prove what? That there's still some lingering zika by the other Yevama. Mishnah says, B'shama omer mikaimu, back to the case of the two sisters. So, chalitza is really the way to go. And let's say the two brothers actually did yibum, they jumped in, they did yibum. So B'shama say, Yikaimu, they can hold on to them, and we don't force them out. So it's mashma from here. That's only b'diavad. Yikaimu in the lechatchila, as we said before. This is not really a lechatchila option. You can't really arrange yibum lechatchila. And the question is why? Let's pull out the mamar card. If mamar really pushes the other tzara away and she's totally out of the equation, well, why can't we arrange as follows? We have Levi and Yehuda faced with Rachel and Leah, two sisters. Very simple. Let Levi do mamar to Rachel and totally shove aside Leah. She's no longer a part of his life. So now he's free to be miyabim Rachel. And the same thing Yehuda can do. And Yehuda will do mamar on Leah and be daiche Rachel and take her off the scene. So apparently, mamar does not have such a impactful effect. So let's do 1 second. 1 second. So what are you telling me? That mamar only creates this partial dechia. What about our Mishnah? Anamanala. We had a Mishnah by us. Right? So you have Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Reuven and Shimon are married to two sisters. Reuven passes away. Levi does mamar, and then suddenly Shimon passes away. And now Levi is faced with his Yevama, with whom he did mamar, and then the other sister, the Leah sister. Bishama says, no problem, because Levi has committed himself to Rachel, in which case we consider her as though she is his wife, because mamar has that effect, and the other one is shoved away, she's out of the picture. It's clear that mamar will totally shove away the other Yevama and take her out of the equation. So you seem to have a sort of a contradicting implications from Mishnah Chavav and Mishnah Chavtes. Mishnah Chavtes, by us, we seem to see that the mamar totally pushes the other one away, and not to be reckoned with. Whereas back on the Chavav, we seem to think that it's not really a good option. So you must find a distinction. Like we said before, it depends what type of mamar, in what context the mamar is coming about. If it's a proper mamar or an efficient mamar. Yevama de chazila kulu. If she's a Yevama, is fit for the entire Yibum procedure, Yibum chalitza, a regular Yevama, like an Alkes and Chavtes and Al. Reuven's Yevama is a proper Yevama. So then in that case, chazil miksasa, she's roy for a partial solution, meaning the mamar. The mamar in this case is a proper mamar and has a proper effect. As opposed to back on Daf Chavav with the two sisters, Yevama was not Yibum enabled. She can't go through the whole process. Lechazil is not really enabled for even part of the process, in which case mamar over there is not really an effective. Doesn't have a proper effect. Okay, so we so far had two tzadim. Is three tzadim. Is mamar a kinyan gomer? Is it just going to shove away the tzara? And to what extent does it shove away the tzara? We tried to bring rayas from the Mishnayos, and we really didn't come up with much of a concrete direction from the Mishnayos. Rather, we must rely on Rabbi Lezer, who actually tells us that you should know mamar, even according to Beishamai, according to the first edition of Rabbi Lezer. It's not going to be koine kinyan gomer, which would pretty much absolve this Yevama from chalitza and rather turn her into a regular isha, a conventional isha, which requires only a get. It doesn't do that. It only designates her to the point that it pushes away the other Yevama and removes that competing element. In the second edition, we had a step further. Don't even think that it's going to push her completely away, in which case she no longer needs chalitza, rather it only pushes her aside partially. in which case she doesn't compete with the Yevama to which you did Maimer, but nevertheless the other Yevama is still someone here in the background and requires Chalitza. Boi Rabbi, here comes a new Shaila. Ma'amar lebei Shammai nesuin oisa, or erusin oisa. We speak about Mamar having that profound effect, and the Tosfos Yeshanim points out that apparently Rabbi is following the shita that Mamar is going to make a Kinyan Gomer, it's Minat Torah, and now the Yevama has now turned into a regular Isha. To what extent? Is it like marriage, Nisuin Oisa, or merely Erusin Oisa like engagement? I'm only Abaye, what's the difference? What is the difference between one and the other? What ramifications are there to your Shaila? Is it pertaining to his ability to inherit her property? Whether if he's a kohen, does he have a heter to engage in her burial and become tamei, which is something only a husband will do. The question is whether he has the ability to revoke her vows. Is that your shaila? Well, you know what? It's irrelevant because hashta arusa ba'alma. Look, even typically, you're a standard engaged woman. You're arusa. Tanur Yeruchia tells us, Ishte arusa, if it's only an arusa prior to marriage, loy oinen, v'loy metamala. If he's a kohen, he doesn't observe dinei aninus, nor can he become tamei to engage in her burial. V'cheni loy oinenes, loy metames loy. Likewise, she can't do the same to him. Meisa eino yersha. If she passes away, he doesn't inherit her property. Meisu, if he passes on, goy b'ksuvasa, she gets the ksuva money. Rashi says, we're speaking when he committed from the time of Erison. In any case, it's clear that the Erusin relationship is not as profound as marriage, and these halachas will not apply. By a conventional Isha, it won't apply. Avad b'mamar miboy. Is there any need? It goes without saying that a mamar won't do that. A Yevama typically is not meant to have mamar. It's not standard procedure. So if you find that by a regular Isha, Erusin doesn't do much pertaining to these halachas, certainly mamar by a Yevama won't accomplish that. So there's no question about that. So what then is your shaila? Ve'ella, rather, le'inyan mesir l'chuppah. Mai. We have a question whether mamar is considered as though she allowed herself, she availed herself to come l'chuppah. And the Mepharshim explain as follows. Typically, a Yevama, a proper Yevama, you can do yibum with her ba'al karcha. So if you live with her as married, even against her will, it's not up to her. It accomplishes the mitzvah yibum. The point is to continue the life and take over the state of the departed brother. It's not something that Torah left up to her. It's something that can be done even ba'al karcha. It's her obligation. That's by a typical Yevama. But by a regular Isha who you are marrying, you can't force her in. She has to actually consent. She has to come to the chuppah, etc. So in this case, where you take a Yevama and you sort of slap onto her mamar, which is the procedure applied to a non-Yevama, what happens now? Have you transformed her? She's no longer considered a Yevama, in which case even Bal Karcha can't work. Rather, you treat her like a regular Isha. And what happens by a regular Isha? You need Mesir l'chuppah, you need that joined together under the chuppah to allow marriage, to enable marriage. So do we say that mamar does that or not? Ve'ela l's'linyan Mesir l'chuppah, is it considered like chuppah? Mai, Nisuin oisa, v'lo yiboya Mesir l'chuppah. Does mamar accomplish the same as Nisuin, in which case you don't have to go through the formality of going in l'chuppah? Perhaps mamar doesn't accomplish that much. It only creates that first step of engagement, in which case you still need Mesir l'chuppah. And then, if you live with her as married, even Bal Korcha, it's going to work. But you need first Mesir l'chuppah. She should consent to this marriage procedure. Amar lei. So he responded, look, what's your question? Why do you need chuppah by a Yevama? She's a Yevama after all. Even if you would not have done mamar, we live from a pasuk, even works even against her will. Avad b'mamar, is there any need to speak about a case of mamar? It goes without saying that if you even did mamar, which is even better than your typical Yevama, you did something extra, of course, she's already 1 foot into the family and Yibum Bal Korcha works. What's your question? Amalei says, not so fast. No, listen to this. Shani, because I can think, I can perhaps suggest. This is my thinking that, yeah, she changes. Although she's really a Yevama, but once you do Mamar, once Mamar is performed, that's not a part of the Yibum process. That's conventional type of a process. That's like Kiddushin. Parcha meimenu zikas Yevama. Perhaps the zikas Yevama, the privilege, the ability of the Yavam to do what he needs to do with the Yevama, Parcha, it just flies off. It disappears. He loses that ability. V'chala olav zikas erisin. Now, regular erisin processes step in. It takes over the Yibum process. She sort of underwent a status change when she had Mamar done to her. We no longer regard her as a Yevama who's undergoing the regular, conventional Yibum process. Rather, we treat her like a regular Isha to a certain extent, in which case, perhaps Yibum Baal Korcha will no longer be effective. Unless you consider the Mamar like Mesir, like Nesuin, in which case she's already like totally married to you, and then Yibum Baal Korcha will work. That's the Shaila Mai. So how would you deal with Mamar? Is it Erisin or Nesuin? Tashma, here comes the Raya. Shemeras Yabam. Mishnah in Dharma speaks about an Isha who's awaiting Yibum. Bein Yabam Echad, Bein Shnei Yavamim, whether she's waiting for one Yavam to get his act together, or two Yavamim. Whether there is only one surviving brother, two. What happens if she makes a neder? So typically, a neder made by a wife can be revoked by her husband. Hafaras nedarim. What happens by a shemeras yavam? She's still unmarried, but she's awaiting Yibum. Is she considered like their wives or not? Rav Lezer says yes, the yavam can do hafaras nedarim. Rabbi Shoimer, no. Depends. Le'echad, if there's one fellow here, fine. He has control, he's the boss. But if there are two brothers awaiting this potential Yevama, then who's the boss? You can't really allow, you can grant hafara privileges to one over the other. Rabbi Kiva Omer, loy lechav loy l'shnayim, irrelevant of whether it's just one or two Yevam, and there's no hafaras nedarim applicable at all. What's the machlekes? Vavinamo, we had a shaila, how to explain the Mishnah. Let's go down the shittas. Bish, Rabbi Kiva, I understand Rabbi Kiva. He holds, Savar ein zika. Zika is not considered like marriage. Rashi says, ein zika keknusa. Afilu l'chad, even if it's just one brother who's totally designated and awaiting this Yevama, he's not married. So there's no hafaras nedarim. Okay, that's straightforward. Rabbi Shua, what about Rabbi Shua's shita? He holds, look, l'chad yesh zika. There's one Yavam, she's meant for him. Okay, zika is applicable. L'trei ain't zika. If there are two, it's undesignated. It's not personal. Zika is not activated, so there's no hafaras nedarim. These two shitas are clear. Ela Rabbi Lazar. How do we explain Rabbi Eliezer? Nihi nami dekasavar yesh zika. I understand that he follows the zika approach. In which case we consider the yavam as though he's married to the yavama, which would allow him the hafaras nedarim privileges. But let's take it apart. Bish le'malachad meifar. I understand if it's one brother here, he's the boss. Of course he can do hafara. Elu l'trei, but if there are two brothers, amai, how can you allow one of them to do hafaras nedarim? Who's to say that he's going to be miyavam the isha? That's a strong kasha. V'amar ba'ami ba'ava, hachmai skinner. You know what we're speaking about? There's a detail we have to add. Going to Ovid ba'mamar. What happened was, sure, there were two brothers, but only one stepped forward and did mamar. He chapped the rain. Ubeishama he da'amar mamar koine kinin gamar. Following Beishama shita, a mamar accomplishes fully. It's a full acquisition. In which case, this fellow who jumped forward and stepped up to the plate and did the mamar, he was kind of the Yevam. It's his wife. And his hafaras nedarim. So that's the end of the story. How does that pertain to us? We had a shaila whether mamar is like engagement or like marriage. It's pretty clear that it's marriage. It's very much understandable. The halacha could be comprehended if mamar creates nisuin. That explains how he could do hafaras nedarim. But if mamar is just a part-way connection, it's like engagement, like kiddushin. How can this fellow do hafaras nedarim? Don't we know that an arusa needs father and chasan to be involved. It's a joint venture. But not nara murasa. You have a nara who's murasa, and she does have a neder who addresses the neder. Avia ubala mefirin dereh. Father and husband have to tend to the neder. So how could the Yavam on his own do a first and Durham? If Mamar is just Eris and Amar Nachmar Yitzchak. Okay, let's get around that very simply. My Mefer b'shutfis. When it says Mefer, means in partnership with the father. Now you'll ask, maybe you might ask this kasha today. What do you mean? The woman here was a Yevama. She's a widow. I mean, she's already left her father's domain. She already married somebody and got divorced and got widowed. Her father no longer has jurisdiction over her. So why does the Gemara say that the father will come along and join the Yavam in Afaras and Durham? The answer is very pashut. We're speaking that perhaps she's just engaged and then she got widowed. Her father gave her over to a fellow who was Mekadesh her, and that fellow passed away. So she never really fully left his possession. It only happens by Nesuin. She was in Skadish, and then this fellow passed away. And of course, Yibam applies then too. How do I know? Because a couple of days ago we had a Mishnah. Remember the Mishnah? Two brothers, not two brothers, two strangers. Right? I actually misquoted that Mishnah at the time. I was saying it's two brothers. No, it's two strangers. Two strangers that were Mekadesh, two sisters there, and they passed away, right? And we have to look after the Yevamos. The Gemara clearly says that there was no Nesuin. In fact, they got mixed up. We don't know who's who, and they couldn't proceed to Nesuin. It was only Kedushin. It's clear from that Mishnah that a Yevama coming from Kedushin is a Yevama. In any case, that's what happened. So now, this Yevama, who was widowed from Erusin, did a neder, so her Yavam and her father will join together to take care of the neder. Okay. So bottom line is we don't have a riot that was Shaila. Is Mamar Erusin or Nesuin? It can go either way. Because even if it's just Erusin, in which case the Yavam wouldn't have sole rights to Hafara, true. He joins together with the father. That's all the Mishnah meant. Here comes a brand new Shaila, which will take us back to the beginning of the Sugya where we had Rabbi Lazar, the Amoira, telling us that you should know that Mamar, even according to Beis Shammai, it doesn't accomplish much. It doesn't really turn the Yevama into a wife. It just pushes away the tzara, etc. Here comes a kasha on that. From this halacha of Afaras and Durham. Ula Rabbi Lezer da Amar Mamar leBeis Shammai Einei Kaina Ela Litches L'Tzara B'Lvad. According to Rabbi Lezer, who tells us that according to Beis Shammai, Mamar, all it does is push away the tzara. Amai Mefer B'Shutvis. So in this case, even if the Yavam did Mamar, right, that's how you interpreted the case. He did Mamar, but still, Mamar doesn't have that positive effect, doesn't make that positive relationship, it just pushes away the tzara. By designating one, it kicks out the tzara, but it doesn't create that positive bond, in which case it's not marriage, and why would he have the ability to be made for a stranger's neder? True, it's in partnership with father, but he's not a partner. The Yavam is not really a player on the scene. Amalek Rabbi Lezer responds as follows: Eimar de Amri Ano Einoi Koine Elo Litches L'Tzar B'Lvad. It's true. Although I did say that the Mamar, all it does is pushes away the other woman, I meant to say the Leisagla Begita Elo Boyina Mechalitz. I meant to say like this. Don't think that Mamar really creates that bond, changes the status of the Yivam, turns her into a regular Isha, in which case going forward you need a get if you want a divorce, and you don't need chalitza. No, I was coming to undo that notion. No, even with Mamar, she's still Yevama, she needs chalitza. La'afan, the Re'am Yamrina, was I even discussing Afaras and Durham? It's an entirely different topic. Of course, Mamar creates some sort of bond between the two, and he has the ability to be made from the Durham. Here comes another terrorist to the Kash. Amar Chablaza. So Chablaza was challenged, right? If Mamar barely does anything, how can it empower the Yavam to tend to her Nedarim? Rabbi Lezer responds with a rebuttal. What's your alternative? So Nachman Yitzchak told us, we're speaking that the Yavam is going to join together with the father, etc. Is that any better? Look at the wording of the Mishnah. Miktane Yaferu. Does the Mishnah then say they will do hafara as though there is a partnership? Yafrik Tani. It says he will do hafara. So your approach isn't really, it's also a bit shaky. It's a bit unfounded, looking at the wording in the Mishnah. So I'll come up with a new solution to the entire kasha. What was the kasha? How could a Yavam be made for Nadarim? Listen to this novel approach, which will address all the kashas and provide a solution to all your difficulties. Allah my skin, you know what we're speaking about? A very unique case. What happened was, this Yavam was taking his merry time. He was procrastinating, and she's like, I need to be supported, I have to pay my bills. Then she dragged him to the Bezdin. And Bezdin says, you know what, she's right. The Yavam has to support her. He has to pay her bills. And now you know what happens? Subconsciously, a woman submits herself to the fellow who's supporting her. As he tells us, an isha who does a neder, adas bala hinaderis, she's mindful of the need to satisfy her husband's wishes. She doesn't want to get on his bad side. When she makes that neder, whatever it may be, in her mind, it is conditional upon her husband's consent. Here as well by the Yevamos, although she's not yet married to him. Shemeres Yava, but once he's paying her bills, she's submissive to him. And whatever neder she makes, it's conditional upon his approval. In which case, it's like any other t'nai. He has the ability to revoke it. He says, look, I'm not interested. Irrespective of his powers, of a first and dharma or not, it's a simple condition. She's doing it conditional upon his approval. That's fine. So even if there was no mamar done, he's totally unconnected to her. Her mindset, b'shas, making the neder is only if he wants. By the way, the Taisis Shanim Esakasha, if so, that every Isha conditions her neder upon her husband's consent, why do we need the whole Parshas Mato is that a Baal could be made for Nadarim? That's the mindset to begin with. If he wants. He answers like this. I'll read inside. This whole concept of Adas Bala, it's only after the Parsha, Brisket Tosfos. This is what the Parsha is telling you. This is learned from the Parsha. It's not something we would introduce on our own. Yeah, this is exactly what we learned from the Parsha. This is the gather that we derive from the Parsha, that an Isha, under her husband's care, will subconsciously submit to him and condition her Nadarim on his approval. Okay. So bottom line is like this. When it comes to Avaras Nadarim of a Yevam, we have three shittas. Rabbi Kiva, he holds that whether it's one Yavam or two Yevamim, one brother or two brothers, they may not do Avaras Nadarim, as the Gemara explains, because he holds Zika is not effective. Rabbi Shua holds Zika does allow him, Yesh Zika, but only by one brother. In which case, he's meant to do the Yibam, and he's empowered to take care of her Nadar. But by two brothers, it's undefined, undesignated. We will not apply Zika in this case to allow him Hafaras Nadar. Rabbi Lezer is a Mechudesh Dekashita. He says whether it's one Yavam or two Yavam, he can do Hafaras Nadar. The question was, how? How does this work? We have several approaches. Either we're speaking that there was Mamar done, and Maimar either does Nisuan, so it's as though he's married to her, and he has a forest and Durham privileges, or perhaps a Mamar is simply Erisin, and we're speaking that the husband with the Yavam will join together, or as the Gemara concludes, very simply, skip the Mamar, maybe. We're speaking that he's supporting her, in which case she is being Noider al Dati. Okay, let's do a brief Chazara. We discussed Mamar, which is a Kedusha Yevama, according to Beis Hillel, worthless. It doesn't really do much. It does something. We'll see eventually in the Masechta. It's a preparation for the Yivam, but in terms of concrete effects on the configuration here, it won't really do much. And that's why in the case where after he did Mamar to one sister, the other one shows up, he's stuck. He's really in a bind because he's faced with two Yevamis of equal value. According to Beis Shammai, yes, Maimer does something. According to many Rishonim, it's based on the pasuk V'lokhalei the Isha v'Yibma. So by Yibma it says V'lokhalei the Isha, which we learn to perhaps pertaining perhaps to the Kedusha Yevama. But there are several ways of learning it. Either it's kinyan gomer, in which case she no longer needs a chalitza, rather a get is going to happen if she wants to separate. Or really it's not kinyan gomer, it's only litches with tzara, pushes away the tzara, completely pushes away the tzara, or according to one side of the Gemara, it slightly pushes her away to the extent that it doesn't affect this Yevama. She's no longer a competing entity with this Yevama, but the other tzara is still there with respect to her need. She still needs chalitza to totally absolve her of her zika. We continue with Hafaras and Darim. We have 3 shitas, which were explained in great detail. All the best to you and much hatzlacha.